John Ferringer with, who do you work for anyway?
I work for Apparatus.
Okay.
We're a rapidly growing IT pro administration, consulting services, managed services shop.
Wow.
In Indianapolis. So I mean,
Indy.
Yeah, the Circle City.
Huh?
The Prozac City once upon a time, right? You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Cool. So we're here at SharePoint Conference.
Absolutely.
2009, but it's all about 2010.
Yep.
So tons of sessions, tons of information. I'm sure you knew a little bit coming into it,
Yeah.
but what's been some of the coolest stuff that you're seeing in 2010 that you think is going to be a big impact, or it's going to make a difference?
So I'm an admin myself. I'm an IT pro, so I've been kind of really focused on that stuff. But to me, the thing I'm really excited about is SharePoint Online.
Ooh.
We're also an accelerated Microsoft Online Services partner, so
Great.
I've been working with that stuff for a year, and the things that they're doing on the SharePoint platform to bring the same kind of experience in the online solution as on-premise is very impressive.
So dig into that a little bit. So, because I don't know as much about how they're able to, because they've talked a lot this week about blending that experience more.
So right now they offer SharePoint Online as a part of the MSO solution. So there's a shared offering and a dedicated offering.
Okay.
Dedicated offering is pretty much like MOS 2007.
Okay.
So you get My Sites, you get the portal experience, you get search across site collections.
Okay.
You can deploy custom code solutions to it.
Oh, they will let you put custom
They will,
code.
But you got to jump through a lot of hoops, right?
Okay, yeah.
They make you do everything you're supposed to do.
Sure.
Right, according to their playbook. So the shared solution is basically WSS.
Yeah.
It's running on MOS, but they lock it down to the Windows SharePoint Services v3
Sure.
functionality. So there's about 5 site templates available for site collections. You can install the 20 of the fabulous 40, the application templates, the ones that don't require a solution file deployed.
Yeah.
But there's a big barrier to entry. To get to the dedicated solution, you have to have at least 5,000 seats, and that is a brutally hard stop.
Is it?
I've worked with customers, large investment bank that had 800 people, and they were like,
Right.
we want to put 6 terabytes of content into this, and the limit really is about 1 terabyte in SharePoint Online, the way that their other restrictions fall out. Okay, so we're like, well, can we just go ahead and get in dedicated? You know, these are big boys, right?
Right.
And they're like, well, yeah, if you buy 5,000 seats for your 800 users.
Nice. Now, how do they price that?
So SharePoint, so the standard solution is, it's $15 for the Business Productivity Online Suite, which is Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Live Communication, Office Communicator.
Yeah.
SharePoint Online is $750. There's discounts running right now on all that.
Sure.
But the dedicated, I'm not that familiar with it. You know, you have to be big enough to play in that space, and then there's gray area there, right?
Sure.
You know, there's some other cool things they do to differentiate that from some other hosted SharePoint offerings. They have a directory sync tool that allows you to take an existing Active Directory, copy all your accounts up into the SharePoint Online cloud, so you're running the same account your users run on premise. And then they also have a single sign-in tool that you run it once on your client, and that logs you into every Microsoft Online Services service seamlessly.
Okay.
So the great thing is that right now there's a differentiation between the SharePoint Online you get with MSO and your on-premises solution, like the WSS kind of stuff, things like that. So with 2010, they're really trying to move to make that line much less distinctive.
Oh, really?
So the goal is feature parity. They've kind of changed their language around that. I think there's going to be it's going to take them some time, but the other thing that they've really stressed is that they're making a lot of iterative changes, so the service is going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Like the best note I got out of the one session I was in, that it's not going to be SharePoint Online 2010. It's just going to be SharePoint Online. So you're going to see them continue. Like their roadmap has stuff going into the product through 2011.
Okay.
They talked about with the server, the on-premise solution, SharePoint's they're going to continue to do roll revs in, like the infrastructure updates we had and the service packs for MOS. But I think that's going to be much more the case with SharePoint Online.
Okay.
So the idea is that not only will on-premise match SharePoint Online, but then they're really going to drop that distinction as much as they can between dedicated and shared. There's still going to be delineation, but the feature set in shared is going to be much, much richer.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you're going to have My Sites in shared. You're going to have the portal, the cross-site collection search.
Right.
All those things that right now is just not there.
Right.
what was the other big thing is they're doing internet-facing sites now. So if you've got apparatus.net and you don't want to host it with yourself, you can do it as a content management site in SharePoint, right? But do it through SharePoint Online rather than on your own servers.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. So so part of your job then obviously sounds like finding the right solution of where to put a customer when they come to you with business needs.
So I'm in that architect role. So that's I wear a lot of hats. So I do the installs, I do the admin stuff.
Yeah.
Then to me it's the great. I love this because it's just another option, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something else to pick off the shelf to offer to the consumer. And so for us as a partner, we feel like our role is to really, we're that translator, right?
Yeah.
We're to make this stuff a lot more simple and understandable for the customer, so they can better then choose what fits them perfectly. So it's even wider range of solutions for us to offer.
How about one more little nugget of something in 2010 that you're excited about?
Well, so it's got to be some of the new disaster recovery stuff, just because Sean McDonough and I wrote a book on disaster recovery for 2007.
Okay.
So some really cool stuff coming with the ability to do things like unattached content databases.
Yeah.
So you take a database backup, you store it to your SQL instance. You can join it into your farm without actually and pull content out of that into your farm without actually having to put those websites up there in your farm live.
And having the conflict of the same GUID on the same database.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So that's some really cool stuff there. I think that they've done search. They've taken search, made it much more robust, and it's no longer a single point of failure.
Yeah.
Sean and I were joking yesterday. It's almost like they got pounded on the whole problems with search being that index server, that's the only indexer you can have.
Yeah.
And they finally said, okay guys, great, here, you want it, you got it.
Yeah,
and now we have this huge, broad search infrastructure to manage and support now. So.
Very cool. So we met on Twitter. You can be found on Twitter?
Twitter at Ferringer, my last name, Ferringer.
Okay.
I do Facebook, I do LinkedIn. I love Twitter.
Yeah, easiest way to find people at this point.
Exactly.
Develop relationships.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for taking some time to talk.
Thank you very much.
Great.